Hey guys, it's Ashley. So I always get asked how I do my resin pieces, and I just want to come and show you guys some things that you will need when starting to do resin, and like things that you will need for coloring resin and things like that. And so the first thing you're gonna need are some gloves, and these are Nitrile Gloves. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but they are the blue gloves like this, and I just have on a short pair, but these are long ones. You can get the long or the short, and these gloves block out chemicals, so they are really good for when you're doing resin. And some other things you're going to need are something to measure with, and sometimes I use like plastic spoons, or I use a measuring cup, because the type of resin I use has to be used in equal portions. You're gonna need something to store it with, like popsicle sticks, coffee stirrers, or anything like that. You're gonna need something to store it in, and these are silicone type bowls that I got from Target. And once I get done, it's easy to just flip the bowls inside out and peel the resin off. And I also use these sometimes. These are like plastic little containers, and these are number 5 plastic, and the resin peels out of these pretty easily also, like once you get a couple layers in there. I got a 32-ounce kit this time because I run out of the 16-ounce really quickly, and it's just 2 16 ounces, and the resin that I use is 1-to-1 mix ratio, and so you have to make sure you use pretty close to exactly the same amounts of part A and part B, or the resin and the hardener. And so that's the brand that I use, Envirotex Lite. Some things that I use to color my resin are just glitters, and I just have a whole bunch thrown in here that I got from like swaps and ones that I bought. Usually when I open the packs of glitters like these, I put them in these kind of containers so that they don't get everywhere. And so I just have like a whole bunch of those in here. And you can buy glitter pretty much anywhere: dollar stores, Walmart, Target, Walgreens, craft stores, pretty much anywhere you can get glitter. And so this is just one thing that you can do to color your resins. You can also use flocking powders to color your resins, and this is Recollection flocking powders that I got in a swap. And you can also use pigments. They have like pigments specially made for resins, and these are just some samples I got in swaps. And some other things I use are like makeup pigments, and these are roll-on shimmers from NYX, and they give a really pretty effect in the resin. With 1-to-1 mixed ratio resins, you can use water-based colors such as food coloring to color your resins. And I also received this in a swap, and it's really good. It's called Liquid Imagination Wild Watercolor. So I guess this is water-based, and it's non-toxic, so you can use this in your resin also. You can also use acrylic paints to color your resin, but you only need a very small amount because your resin can jelly and it will be like really squishy and soft. Okay guys, so a little bit about molds. Excuse mine that has glitter and resin in it, and these are extra large silicone food grade molds. And there are also molds that you can make yourself, and this is a mold builder mold by Castin Craft, and you just brush this onto your piece and wait for it to dry, and keep adding layers until it's as thick as you like. And it's really flexible. Well, this one isn't, but because I put a backing on it so it'll keep its shape better. But this one doesn't have a backing on it, and you can see it's really stretchable. And again, that's Mold Builder by Castin Craft. I also have 2 other kind of mold putties. I forgot which brand is which, but I'll link everything below so you guys can check it out. And these are also flexible, and these are ones that you can mold yourself. With these, it has like 2 different types of putties that you mix together, and then you flatten it out and push your piece in and let it harden, and then you have yourself a mold. I also did some with a DIY mold builder, and it's silicone and cornstarch, and it's pretty flexible, and this works good for clay and resin. And then I also made some with Instamorph. And Instamorph is a plastic that you can heat in water, and it becomes flexible, and you can build stuff with it or make molds out of it. And then there's also these types of molds, which are like a hard kind of plastic, and your piece really just pops out, and depending on if the piece is really shiny, it comes out really shiny. And like this one is a textured piece. So there are many different types of molds that you can use out there. I'm going to be making some neon pink letters for a case, and it's kind of going to come out like this. And the color is going to come out like this, but it might be a little different. So what I do is I take my 2 resins, and I either use a measuring cup or a spoon to measure. You want to make sure that you get as close to equal portions of these resins as you can. So I kind of just scrape all the resin off the spoon as good as I can. And then when you put it in like that, just start mixing, and I usually mix it for 2 to 3 minutes or a little longer. So after you've mixed your resin for about 2 to 3 minutes, I usually stir mine forwards and backwards and scrape the sides really good. So after you've stirred it pretty good for about 2 to 3 minutes, you can add your glitters or sands, I forgot to mention that, or your flocking powder or whatever material you're using. I'm gonna do a little sand. This is a neon pink. And this is a lighter pink, iridescent type glitter. And I'm gonna stir that and see how it looks. And it comes out really pretty. So I think I'm gonna add a little bit. I think I'm gonna add a little flakes in there. And just a little bit of flocking powder to make it a little more opaque. And just stir it really good to make sure the glitter is distributed evenly throughout the mix. And I have this really pretty neon pink color. I'm going to be making a cave for a case that I have coming up, and a Barbie cab. And what I love about these bowls is you can bend it so you can pour it really nicely without making a really big mess. And that should be thick enough. And then I can do the Barbie cab. First I just pour it in and let it level itself off. And sometimes I'll tap it down. And if I think I need to, I'll go in with some more resin. And for the leftover resin, let's see what I can make. See how much resin I have left, and I'll just use the extra to make some pieces here. I was able to fill 6 molds with 2 tablespoons. I guess this is the tablespoon. 2 tablespoons of resin. So those are the ones that I did for you guys as an example. And if you get bubbles in your resin like this, you can pop them with blowing through a straw on it, or you can pop it with a lighter. I like to let my resin sit for a bit to see if any bubbles are going to form, and if I do get some bubbles, I'll pop it by blowing on it through a straw or by using a long-handled lighter like this. And you just run the lighter over the top like so. But I have my fan on and I need something to block. You just go over it with the lighter and they should pop. And make sure you don't just go over them with a lighter and the bubble should pop. Make sure you don't stick the lighter into the resin. And that's basically it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me or leave a comment down below and I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can. And again, this is how I make my resin and what I found works best for me. So if you guys have questions, I'll try my best to help you out. And thanks for checking out my video. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.